Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like everyone involved in your parents' care is doing their job, but not necessarily working together? The doctor gives one recommendation, the home care agency says something slightly different, the senior living community has its own perspective. The financial advisor is thinking about sustainability. The real estate conversation is happening separately. And as a family, you're sitting there thinking, why does this feel so disconnected? Why does it feel like we're the ones trying to align everyone? If you've ever felt that, you're not imagining it because collaboration in senior care is one of the hardest parts of the entire system. Today, we're going to talk about why collaboration in senior care is so difficult and what families need to understand so they don't feel like they're navigating this alone. Hi, I'm Corpus, a senior transition specialist and real estate expert based in the San Francisco Bay Area. I work with families navigating senior living decisions, housing decisions, and care planning. And I also work alongside many of the professionals across the senior care ecosystem, which gives me a unique perspective. I see what families experience on the outside, and I see what's happening between professionals behind the scenes. This is another episode of Sandwich Generation Solutions powered by the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast, where we bring clarity to decisions that are too often made under pressure. Let's dive in. The first thing to understand is this: senior care is made up of multiple industries: healthcare, housing, home care, rehabilitation, legal planning, and financial planning. Each of these has its own training, priorities, timelines, and responsibilities. And most professionals are trained to operate within their lane. Doctors focus on medical outcomes. Home care agencies focus on daily support. Senior living communities focus on housing and care environments. Financial advisors focus on sustainability. Real estate professionals focus on housing transitions. Each role is important, but they're not naturally trained to coordinate with each other. Another reason collaboration is hard is that each part of the system operates with different incentives. Healthcare is focused on stabilization and discharge. Rehab is focused on progress within a limited time frame. Home care is structured around hourly support. Senior living communities are structured around housing and care models. Financial planning is focused on longevity of resources. None of these are wrong, but they lead to different perspectives. So when families hear different recommendations, it can feel like conflict, when in reality, it's often just different lenses on the same situation. Here's something that surprises many families: there is no automatic quarterback in the system, no single role that naturally coordinates everything from start to finish. That responsibility often falls to the adult child or the family as a whole, which is why families often feel like they're managing communication, decisions, timelines, and expectations all at once. And when coordination is unclear, stress increases quickly. Even when professionals are well intentioned, communication doesn't always flow smoothly between them. Information may stay within each silo. Updates may not be shared across all parties. Assumptions may be made, and families are often left connecting incomplete pieces of information. That's where confusion builds, and confusion often leads to second-guessing decisions, mistrust, delays, and emotional tension. Another hidden issue is timing. Each part of the system moves at a different pace. Hospitals move quickly, discharge timelines are short, families need time to process decisions. Housing transitions take time to plan and execute. Financial decisions require careful consideration, but these timelines don't always align, so families feel rushed while also feeling uncertain. That tension makes collaboration even harder. We can't talk about collaboration without talking about emotion. Families are often navigating fear, guilt, stress, uncertainty. And when emotions are high, communication becomes harder. Conversations can feel more intense, decisions feel heavier, and misunderstandings happen more easily. Even small misalignments can feel like major disagreements. When professionals aren't aligned, families often interpret it as they're not communicating, they're not on the same page, they don't understand our situation. But most of the time, it's not about lack of care, it's about structure. The system itself isn't designed for seamless collaboration. So the burden of alignment falls on the family. The families who experience the most clarity usually do a few things differently. They ask for clarification across roles, make sure everyone is working from the same information, bring conversations together earlier, and identify a central point of communication. And most importantly, they recognize that coordination doesn't happen automatically. It has to be created. Senior care is complex because it's made up of many moving parts. Each part serves an important function. But without coordination, those parts can feel disconnected. When families understand this ahead of time, something shifts. Instead of expecting the system to be seamless, they begin focusing on alignment. That's where clarity starts to emerge. So today we talked about why collaboration in senior care is so difficult. Because professionals operate in separate lanes, each system has different incentives, there's no automatic coordinator, communication gaps exist, timelines don't always align, and emotional pressure complicates everything. When families understand this structure, they can approach decisions with more clarity and less frustration. This has been another episode of Sandwich Generation Solutions powered by the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast. If you're navigating a senior transition right now and trying to figure out the next step for a parent, here are some resources designed to help. For families, if you're navigating senior living decisions, downsizing, or trying to determine the next step for an aging parent, visit www.simplifyseniortransitions.com/families. This page provides guidance and resources specifically designed for families navigating senior transitions. And if you're a senior care professional who wants stronger positioning, clearer referral ecosystems, and more scalable systems for serving families in today's evolving senior care landscape, visit www.simplifyseniortransitions.com/professionals. And if this episode brought you clarity, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Reviews help more families and professionals find the show before stress turns into crisis. I'm Dale Corpus, and I'll see you on the next episode.